at the image. Tell me what you see. Our brains are incredible tools for helping us understand the world around us, but they can also create limitations and barriers when we assume that what we perceive defines all that is real or encompasses the whole universe. Can we really understand everything based solely on our sensory experiences? Or is there another form of understanding that exists beyond what we empirically know? Christians believe that there is, in fact, most people share this belief. Yet, we often claim that what we perceive and know is the unquestionable truth. What is this beautiful image? It's a human eye, delicately crafted and intricate. The eye acts as a lens through which we perceive color and truth. Our eyes help us understand our identity and position in the broader context of existence. However, as our perspective shifts, so do our perceptions and the knowledge and truths they shape. When we broaden our view, we see the big picture that may have previously eluded us and how everything around us is interconnected. Conversely, focusing closely reveals details we might have missed in the larger view. Our eyes transmit these images, akin to snapshots, to our brain, which processes and stores this information. In a sense, our eyes provide our brains with bite-sized pieces of knowledge and fragments of truth, which we then interpret based on our existing understanding. Yet, the eye pales in comparison to the complex processor we call the brain. Today, I have a model of the human brain here with me. No, it's not a real brain. It's made of plastic. However, your brain closely resembles this model. Here is the frontal lobe, the back with the spinal cord extending downward, and you can see it has two distinct halves. I emphasize distinct because these halves process information differently. The right hemisphere of your brain is the relational side. It perceives the world as a whole and focuses on relationships. This side connects with others and processes our emotions. Through this part of the brain, we feel a connection to the universe, the surrounding energy, and even a higher power. It is the source of our creativity, appreciation of beauty, and love. In contrast, the left hemisphere is more analytical. It views you as an individual, distinct from the rest of the world. This side categorizes images, emotions, and memories, helping us understand and organize our world. It is the part that creates order and imparts knowledge. God designed our brains to enable us to understand ourselves as unique individuals with the ability to exercise free will and make choices. At the same time, our brains help us connect with God, others, and the world around us, allowing us to love them and perceive their beauty through connection and relationships, covenant, and kingdom. The two hemispheres of our brain collaborate, linked by a network of neuron fibers that transmit and share information and images. The human body is incredible. It is designed to help us navigate life in our world, enabling us to understand and perceive our experiences, while also fostering a relationship with God, allowing us to have faith and recognize that there is more beyond what we can see and experience. However, at times, our brains can enter what I refer to as lockdown mode. Factors like stress, grief, tragedy, and an overemphasis on logic at the expense of relationships can lead our brains to favor the left hemisphere. As a result, we become self-reliant, shutting off from our emotions, the beauty around us, and our faith. We begin to doubt anything beyond our direct sensory experiences, shielding ourselves by trusting only what is visible. This is what I call going into lockdown. In a sense, this is what happened to Jesus' disciples after his death. They went into lockdown mode. They were traumatized by the death of their leader, rabbi, and teacher. To them, the movement and the mission had failed, ended, ceased to exist. All their hopes, dreams, expectations, faith in Jesus' projections for the future seemed suddenly like pipe dreams, and they began to wonder what they could have been thinking, taking the risk they did. Fear took over, and their fears were valid. Both the religious elite and the Romans would gladly kill any disciple of Jesus they feared. Danger lurked in and around Jerusalem. They were afraid, and so they hid. They locked themselves inside a house in Jerusalem, sat Shiva for their friend, grieved, moaned, and wondered what to do next. Lockdown, literally and spiritually. It's no mistake that Jesus appears to the disciples behind closed doors within locked rooms. Jesus needed not only to enter into their house, he needed to enter back into their hearts. He needed to restore their faith. Only faith would release them from their immobilization, their deep freeze. Only faith could propel them forward again into hope and into mission, so that Jesus' movement could continue. He would first need to break through their grief, their doubts, their despair, and their logic that told them they had been foolish and they needed to think practically and rely only on their own judgments, look out for their lives literally. It's no mistake that Thomas needs to literally feel the wounds on Jesus' body. His mind, like the others, had been in lockdown, and he needs to be released. There is more than one resurrection in the Easter story. This is another. It is a story in which Jesus resurrects the faith, the hope, and the joy of the disciples. He lifts them from their depths of grief and despair and sets them back upon their feet, so to speak. He makes them whole again by allowing them to process that he is not dead but alive, that the mission has not ended but has only just begun. Even after this visitation, it would take the disciples multiple encounters with Jesus before they would be ready for the Holy Spirit's mission-giving breath at the Pentecost. Each time, he would continue to block their minds, unfreeze their hearts, unhinge their fears, and restore their faith. Today, we too live in times and through difficulties that can freeze our hearts and lock down our minds in fear and worry. We can call it survival mode. We try our best in these times just to get by. We do so by trying to secure ourselves from hurt, pain, trauma, and grief. And in the process, we lock people out and we lock God out. I encourage everyone to open their hearts and minds to let Jesus renew your faith. Ease your mind, close your eyes, and release your fears and worries. Permit the Holy Spirit of Christ to enter your thoughts and heart, freeing you from the chains of grief and pain, liberating you from the hurt and fear that immobilize you, and renewing your faith in yourself, in God, and in those around you. Jesus is the King of resurrections. He has risen, and He can uplift you too, not just after death, but during life. May God bless you and watch over you, and may Christ dwell in your heart, freeing you from your fears and doubts, while filling you with the faith to move mountains and the love to inspire others. May Jesus Christ be praised.